Okay. Obviously, quick sleep there. Just watched the tape this morning with the coaches. Feel very similar to how I felt last night. Proud of the guys. Good team win. Don't have a ton of updates yet on the injuries. We're awaiting some MRI results, but I'll take any questions you guys have.
Thank you very much, Coach. The first one will be from Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Good afternoon, Coach. Anything, though, more on AWOC? I know we were all kind of concerned about potential length there.
I don't have the final MRI results just yet.
Gotcha. Kevin, we've talked a lot about Jacoby. We've talked about his poise, composure. How instrumental and valuable was he behind the scenes this week, considering what happened Sunday? And you guys wanted to shake that off as quick as you could.
Yeah, I think you guys know Jacoby, know how he operates, how he carries himself, and those type of things. And I think that does have an impact on your football team when your quarterback is like that. I would also tell you we got a bunch of leaders on this team. We met, we talked like we always do every single week. So I think those guys understand the role they play with our team and setting the direction.
Thank you, Tom. Jake Trotter is next.
Yeah, Kevin, has Jacoby exceeded your expectations with the way that he has played? I know you guys were really confident in him throughout the offseason and in training camp, but he has been, pretty terrific through 3 weeks for you all.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as I wouldn't characterize it, Jake. I would just tell you what I see in the games is what I see in practice.
Appreciate it, Jake. Fred, brief him. Go ahead.
So,
Fred, if you could restart your question, please.
okay. If you can hear me now, I said, Coach, Dan Murphy put out a stat that this is the best rushing start the Browns franchise history, 572 yards. Can you just talk about why it's clicking right now?
Yeah, nice job by Dan there. I think it's a combination of a couple things. We have good players. I think we have good scheme. Teams, we're going to run into some really tough defenses. We get that. We get that it's not going to be clean early at times, but just going to keep plugging away.
Thank you, Fred. Scott Petrick, you're up.
Hey, Kevin, there aren't a ton of games that Miles goes without a sack. How much did Pittsburgh do to try to minimize the impact he had?
Yeah, I mean, a lot, and that's what you can expect. Teams, they'll wait to see where he lines up, then they're going to move the tight end to his side. They're going to send the line his way. They're going to send the back his way. That's just the nature of how teams are going to try to defend us. It opens up opportunities for guys. There are things that we did last night, things that we'll continue to do, ways to try and free him up, but it's no secret.
How does Miles do handling that? Because I would think that would be frustrating, not being able to, kind of get the sacks you're looking for.
Yeah, I think you control what you can control. I mean, it's premier rushers get that type of attention. I think of Von Miller when we played him a couple years back. You're going to make sure you have somebody chipping him every play. It's just what teams do.
Thank you, Scott. Daryl Ryder will have our next question.
Yeah, Kevin, what changed in the second half for you guys? You gave up 197 yards in the first half, and then the second half held them to just 111, and I think they were like 1 for 9 on third down. So what was the difference between the first and second half for you?
Yeah, I think a couple things. Obviously, players did a nice job in the second half executing what we're asking them to do. They made a few plays in the first half, and we got them cleaned up, made a few adjustments in terms of how we were defending certain plays, those type of things. So natural course of adjustments in an NFL game.
And I know you don't like to touch on this kind of stuff, but I feel it's important to ask, will you be sending to the league office the tape of the Anthony Walker injury? Because it appeared a Steeler offensive lineman jumped on him when he was already prone on the ground, not moving.
Was the player penalized for that?
There was no penalty thrown. No.
Yeah, I'll let the league handle those things.
Thanks, Daryl. Let's go to Matt Fontana.
Yeah, Kevin, noticed the defense was huddling more yesterday, obviously with the communication. Was that something that came from the players or from the coaches? And is that something that might even be mandated moving forward?
Yeah, you're supposed to huddle every play except when they're on the ball. It's very important to do, especially when you're at home, when our crowd is as loud as it is. You got to make sure that you're huddling.
And I know specifically you don't read the outside noise, but I'll give some props. People are really happy about your play calling, the game planning. They've been really impressed last couple games. When you look back on yourself, and I'm sure you do in a way grade yourself, how do you think you've done specifically as a play caller the first 3 games with Jacoby?
Don't know.
Thanks, Matt. Mary Kay Cabot, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, I know you don't have the final MRI results yet, but it looked really bad with Anthony. I mean, and you kind of alluded to the fact that what if it's serious last night? Do you have, a fear? Do you guys fear that this could be season ending, or do you have, some thought that it probably is a long-term thing?
Yeah, I mean, when you see obviously Mary Kay, the attention on the field and what, yeah, it obviously didn't look good. I think that's obvious. We're hoping against hope for Anthony. Talked to him last night. He's a huge part of our football team. What he brings to us on the field, off the field. So we'll see what the MRI holds. But past that, I'll just wait to see.
And how will you adjust, from a communications field general, sort of green sticker standpoint without him if you have to?
Yeah, well, it does give me the opportunity to talk about Jacob and how he played last night, which I thought he was outstanding. So Jacob would be our green dot moving forward. He does a nice job of communicating. The 2 plays he made late in the game with the blitz and the sack and then the PBU were outstanding. And I'm just proud of Jacob because you wish you could put 12 guys out there for the defense, and we listed him as a starter with Anthony early because those guys, I really think they're both capable of starting. Now, with Anthony out likely, Jacob goes in there, and we have a ton of confidence in him. And he plays like he plays last night. I think he can really affect the game.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Ashley Bastock, you're next.
Hey, Kevin, I know last night when you were talking about Amari, you used the adjective trustworthy. I mean, I think that's a word that also can apply to Jacoby Brissett. I mean, I guess just given the fact that he is a guy who's not going to make big mistakes, that Amari's a guy who's going to get open, how their trustworthiness has let them develop this chemistry that we're seeing this early in the season on the field.
Yeah, I think they're demonstrating it, Ashley. I think you're seeing it in games. That's a product of a lot of work. And I know you guys leave after individual period, but I can promise you they get a ton of work off to the side, both during an offensive period. Then when it's special teams, they're over there. Amari's running full speed routes, so that is a product of hard work with those guys.
And then a quick defensive question with Alex stepping in for Jadeveon last night. I guess just how you guys think he did, and to get that opportunity as a rookie this early in the season.
Yeah, he did a nice job. He made some plays. He's a rookie, so there's some things, of course, that everything's new to him, as you can imagine. But very pleased with the direction he's heading.
Thank you, Ashley. Marla Reidnar, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, Cam Hayward talked about how you guys kicked their butts. I mean, I'm just curious about the toughness you showed, and if you thought that was that what it was able to help you cover up a few mistakes, and just what was that level like in your mind? Was that, something you haven't seen in a while?
Well, first thing I tell you, Marla, is that's a very, very good defense. It's a very physical defense. We knew we were going to have to play a physical football game for 60 minutes. It's AFC North football at its finest. So they're a very, very stout front. So no, it wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be tough sledding throughout, but I thought it was a heavyweight fight in that regard.
And just one thing about the using different guys at tight end, like Dunn, for example. I mean, have you seen enough of that you're willing to explore more?
Yeah, sure. I think we've done a lot of it throughout the course of this season so far. There's other things we can do. But yes, we can continue to grow those type of things. Yes.
Thank you, Marla. Let's go back to Fred Greetham.
Hey, Coach, as far as two-part question, first of all, you continually on defense have a lack of turnovers, you're able to get them. And the second one is how Jack Conklin came out of the game and how did he play in his first game back in many months?
Yeah, to the takeaway point, we had one there at the end, but we do want to take the ball away. I mean, it's part of who we are. It's one of the first. It is the first thing we talk about as a defense, and we haven't had them in bunches. We're always looking to get them in bunches, so that will continue to be something that we talk about. We practice forever and for always. I thought Jack was really good. It was great to see him back out there. He battled, was physical, good in the run game, good in the pass game.
Thank you, Fred. Scott Petrick, back to you.
Hey, Kevin, how much did Ronnie Harrison's pregame injury affect what you guys did from a personnel standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, we use Ronnie a lot, so that was tough when you're after the inactives are in to have an injury. You have to adjust, and that's where I would say credit to the defensive staff for adjusting, credit to the players for adjusting.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tom. Or sorry, thanks, Scott. Tom, go ahead.
Thanks, Rob. Kevin, did I hear you say you're going to let us stay after individual drills from now on?
PJB is the one that kicks you out, not me.
You alluded to this last night. It was, I can imagine, a stressful day for you and your coaching staff. As you've gone on in your career, has it been easier for you to kind of put the game behind you and immediately move on? I know that's what you have to do and that's what you have to preach, but just from a personal standpoint, has that gotten easier to do?
I don't know, Tom. It's just you do have to. You got to move on in these games. It's I know we're all living and dying, wins and losses, but I've said it before. You can't let a previous week bleed into the next week, and I'm not going to let it happen next week. Win, lose, or draw, we're moving on to whoever we're playing next.
Thanks, Tom. Matt Fontana, go ahead.
Ken, I just wanted to ask you about the Thursday, getting it out of the way early, kind of having this semi-bye this weekend, and obviously having your bye kind of spread out. Does just talk about how much that helps when you get one early and you can also kind of get that bye, the full bye, a little bit later.
Yeah, you're always interested, Matt, when the schedule comes out. Where is the Thursday night game? Where is your bye week? So it is a mini bye in a lot of ways, and hopefully these 10 days we get to get guys healed up and recharge for a second. But it's important that you got to play, on the front end, you got to play and you got to play. And I mentioned it last night, there were so many guys that pushed to make it to that game, which I'm really proud of them. And then they earn the time off on the other side of it.
Thanks, Matt. We'll take one more. Marla Reinhardt.
Yeah, just a quick one. What are the coaches going to do on this mini bye? Are you guys going to be at it all weekend?
No, well, we'll get a little bit of a break here, but it does give you an opportunity to do a little 3-game study of yourself and then do some work on Atlanta.